Welcome back to Renegade GCM. Today we have a video with Purple Yellow Pudding versus Purple Black Luffy. So the opponent chooses to go first. We're going to keep our opening hand with two Charlotte Pudding Searchers, Miss All Sunday, two 9-drop Linlands in the 0-drop event. We're going to play out the Pudding Searcher getting a 2K Sanji. Got excited there for the attack but realized I can't. And then pass to the opponent. So Pudding's a ramp deck. It does life gain. It's a fun deck. Luffy's going to put 3 Dawn on and go 8 into 5 here. I don't like countering out this early, but I do have it. But we're going to take it. We're going to use the trigger off Miss All Sunday. We are going to lose both of our Dawn for this, but our one Dawn. But we are developing a 5K body early in the game. So back to us. We're going to go up to 3 Dawn here. Draw another Pudding Searcher. We're going to use it. Grabbing another Sanji. We're going to grab the other 2K. We're going to put one on Miss All Sunday. Swing 6 into 5. Trying to eat up their 2Ks early. They take that hit. So we're going to put one on the Pudding and go 6 into 5 as well, using card action, revealing a Charlotte Brule, and you're the one who should disappear event on our life. So the two 9-drop Big Moms are nice for the life gain. And if we have to tuck a pesky character off the opponent's side of the field, we can put it at the bottom of their life. They take the second hit. So they're down to 2 life. We're going to pass to them. So they're just going to go 6 into Miss All Sunday. That's a simple 2K. They have 4 open Dawn left. They're going to deploy their Zoro. They're going to Dawn minus to get 2 active and 1 rested back from Leader and Zoro effect. Essentially making their Zoro cost 1. I do try to put up daily content, so make sure you guys like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. They're going to play the Zoro again. So we're at 6 Dawn here. Debating what we want to do. Looks like we're going to attach 3 Dawn on the Pudding Searcher just to go 5 in. We're going to try to eat some of their cards out of hand here. Because they have no open Dawn. So their Gum Gum Giant isn't online. So they use a counter with Frankie, which is fine. So we're going to do the same thing. Looks like we're going to swing just 5 attacks of 5K in. They take that hit. We're going to swing 5 in with Pudding, Leader. They got 7 cards in hand. They're going to use a 2K out, which is good for us. They had to over counter. Here we're going to go 5 into 5 again. They had to force another 2K out. So being able to make them over counter was really crucial here. Because they committed all their Dawn out, so they're Gum Gum Giant. So they're going to play Gum Gum Lightning. It's a 2-drop event and to KO Miss All Sunday. It's Dawn 2, -2, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 6,000 power or less. Pretty effective card. So they're going to put 2 on their Zoro. Both their Zoros are going to attach 2 Dawn first. So they're telling us what they're doing with the turn. So we're going to go 6 and 2. They get that. They're going to go 7 into 2. Seemed like a waste of Dawn usage, but to each their own. 7 into 5 here. We're going to take that because we knew the Brule blocker on top just to deploy that blocker. So here we're at 8 Dawn. We're going to deploy missile or the Searcher Pudding. Grabbing. We're debating between the Flampe, the Sanji, or the Brule blocker. We're going to take the Brule here. And we're going to deploy... Looks like we're going to deploy Missile Sunday as well. Maybe not. We're going to deploy the 6K Sanji here. Nice big body blocker. Go 6 into 5 into the Zoro. They're leaving open Dawn, which tells us they have the Gum Gum Giant. Which looks like they utilized. So it definitely wasn't an effective use of that event, but we were able to force it out because they didn't want to take that last hit. We're just going to pass back. They still have 7 cards in hand. Like, it's telling us that they don't have a lot of counter power in hand if they're using a Gum Gum Giant for a 1K counter, essentially. And they did have to trash the 9-drop Kaido, which is good for us. So it looks like they're at 8 Dawn here. Which means they can't deploy their 9-drop Luffy with Rush, but they could play the Luffy Taro, which could allow them to Dawn Minus and play another purple Straw Hat, developing a more of a board presence. Our hand is not the greatest as far as counter power. We have a 0-drop 3K counter, and a Brule, and a Sanji 2K. So they're going to go 6 into 5 here. We're going to use that 2K just to save it. Save the hit. So 7 Dawn, they could... No, they're at 6 now, so they're not going to deploy their Sanji. They're going to go 6 into 5 here. We're just going to take that because, like, we don't want to over-counter. And next turn, we should be at our 9 Dawn turn, so we should be able to deploy our Lin 9-drop and gain a life back, so... They got 6 open Dawn, 6 cards in hand, 1 life. So they're going to put 1 on their Luffy leader. Go 6 into 5 again. I don't really want to take the last life here. But, so I'm going to use the blocker here, just to absorb that hit. For a second, I forgot I had Brule on the field, so I was debating if I wanted to use a 0-drop event. So they're going to play out their Frankie blocker, Dawn minus 2. They're going to draw 2, trash 1, and then they're going to get 2 Dawn back with leader effect. So we're at 8 Dawn. We're going to be at 10 Dawn, it looks like, next turn. Our life is kind of low, and so is theirs, so the Yamato isn't great. We can gain a life off Yamato, but we won't be able to... technically, we can remove the Searcher that they just played. But we can also go with the 9-drop Linlin, which we do. We're going to Dawn minus 1. We're going to trash a card from hand. So we're going to trash Missile Sunday. It doesn't have counter. And we gain a life. Then we're going to put their blocker on the bottom of their life. We're going to attach 1 to Pudding. We're going to attack 6 into 5. We're going to use the card action. You get the Dawn back. We really didn't need to late in the game. You don't need to do that. Because it does let your opponent know the triggers that are coming. So it looks like we have a Katakuri on top of life, followed by a Beiji, which is great for the last life. So we like to see that. I'd prefer to have the 0-drop event, but it was a little higher up in life than normal. So 6 into 5 here. They do have an open Dawn. So if they have the Gum Gum Giant, they're going to have to over-counter again. And it looks like that's what they're doing. So they had to massively over-counter here, which is great. Debating about swinging the blocker into the Zoro. Because the opponent's been showing us that they're kind of weak on counter right now, but we prefer to have the blocker up with 3 active swings and the maybe potential 9-rush Luffy, or even their 10-drop. Well, they won't have their 10-drop this turn. They've been Dawn minusing a lot, so. And like I said, we have a 2K counter in hand. We have a 1K with the Brule. And technically we have 2 of the 0-drop events that we could trash the Yamato and the Linlin for if we needed them. So we're at 4. I have 2 life. My opponent has 2 life. So we could technically Yamato next turn to take out one of the Zoros. As long as like our life doesn't go down too far, but we could still afford to take 1 hit and still be able to use Yamato to remove one of the Zoros off the field. So if the opponent's here deciding what they want to do, they have 7 cards in hand. We have 1 active blocker. We're showing 6 cards in hand. The opponent doesn't know we're pretty bricked up, but 6 cards is a lot when you're trying to go for game, knowing that the following turn you run the risk of losing as well. So they're going to just try to chip here 5 on 5, trying to get us to remove some extra counter. We have a 1 case, we're going to use that. They're going to go 5 into 5 again. We're going to take that hit because it gives us an extra 1k. So we're going to use that 1k this right now. We still have the Beiji at top of life, showing that if they attack into us and we take 1 more hit, their next attack won't happen. So they're playing Gecko, getting a Frankie blocker back. And I'm assuming they're going to grab another Law Searcher. Could be wrong, but that seems like the most optimal play unless they have maybe the Nico Robin in their discard pile. So they're using the Frankie effect first. The Dawn -2. So they get their some Dawn back. And they play out. Looks like they played out. Actually, I don't know if they played anything out. Yeah, it looks like they got the Law. So we're going to go 9. We really don't have the presence to go for game right now with that many cards in hand. But dropping the 10-drop Big Mom helped a lot for us gaining a life and them trashing their life. So we're just going to try to do some board control here. 9 into 5. Because we still have the active leader swing. The play would have been Yamato, except for the fact that we drew into the Big Mom, which is a much better play at the 10 Dawn. So 9 into 5 here. They're going to let it go. We're going to go 5 into Zoro with the leader, seeing if they want to save it or use their blocker. So they did counter out, it looks like. So here we're debating. We're just going to hold that blocker back. We're still running the risk of being taken from the backswing. With 10 full Dawn and technically 4 swings, they could put the Dawn on the Law Searcher to make it a swinger if needed. So we have a 2k in hand, and we have the 3-drop, or the 0-drop events that can give us 3k. So 5 into 5 here. We're not sure what that top life is, but we know what the next life is. So we ended up getting the Sanji blocker off of life, which is great. So we're going to trash the Yamato to play that out. That's going to absorb another hit if needed. So we have 2 active blockers. They haven't used their Dawn yet. I don't foresee them swinging their Frankie this late in the game, but we do have the option there, like I said, using it as your drop event to counter out for 3k. Just depends on what opponent wants to do, and if we can't counter out, we always have the blockers to rely on. So 9 into 5, we're going to need 4k out of this, or technically 5k to survive getting that. So we're just going to absorb the hit with the Sanji blocker that we deployed off of life. They're going to go 5 into 5 with their blocker, so they're going to try to go for game here. So we're going to trigger this, and we're going to say your leader can't attack. So even if they put all 10 down on their Law, we have the Sanji to absorb the hit. So they're going to play their 10-drop Luffy, Dawn -10, and tucking their entire field at the bottom of their deck. They're going to get 2 back from leader effect. Then they're going to use the Luffy ability to gain an additional Dawn. They get an extra turn after this. They're back up to 5 Dawn already. 6 Dawn with Luffy. That's pretty good. Like, they just went from 0 Dawn back to 6 Dawn. That's insane. So they're going to go 17 into 5. This is an easy chump block. Boop. And then they have 5 into 5 here, which is a simple 2K counter out. Because, like, there's, yeah. So opponent still has 7 cards in hand, 1 life. So we're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna deploy anything this turn. We don't need to. We have enough on board to pressure life. So we're gonna go 12 into 5. That's gonna take a lot of counter power to get out of that hit. And if they do use all their counter on this hit, we still have a 9K coming, and then we also have the leader effect. In worst case, we have the pudding searcher that we can attach Dawn and go as well. So they end up taking that life. So here we're just going to put the rest of the Dawn on our 9-drop Linlin. And we're just going to go 19 into 5. So they had a couple 1Ks, a 2K. They're getting there. 13, 14. Alright. So opponent had the 9-drop Luffy, which we knew of. Well, we assumed, and then a Gum Gum Giant. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you stay tuned for the next one. Like and subscribe.